It's October and Halloween is coming up, so it's time for some sinister music. Ever watch or play something and you hear a song and think, well, this sounds kind of evil, but it has a certain swing to it? I'd like to call those types of songs sadistic dances. I based this name on two things, a song and a story. The song is the classical piece La Danse Macabre by Camille Saint-Saëns, which you are currently hearing in the background. La Danse Macabre is based on an old French story about death summoning the dead to dance around their graves to remind people of their short and fragile lives. At dawn, death would leave and the dead would return to their graves. The story I based the term sadistic dances on is the fairy tale of the Red Shoes by Hans Christian Andersen. The story is about a spoiled girl who gets a pair of cursed shoes that make her dance forever and cannot be taken off her feet. Even after she gets her feet amputated, the shoes still dance around her. After being plagued by the shoes for a long time, the girl's put out of her misery by an angel, who takes her to heaven. Not a very fun story, but it has inspired many artistic works after this story was published, such as the 1948 movie by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. So these are my two influences for the term sadistic dances. They are often used in seduction scenes, or to show how powerful or insane a villain is. Sometimes it happens at the same time. A good example of an actual song is Poor Unfortunate Soul from The Little Mermaid.
Come on, you poor unfortunate soul! Go ahead, make your choice.
But we're going to take a look, or rather a listen, to some full instrumental examples, in no particular order. To start this list, I couldn't leave out Shovel Knight, since the soundtrack by Jake Kaufman has a song with the actual name La Danse Macabre, for the Spectre Knight stage. It's the least sadistic sounding song on this list, but it still sounds as if our hero needs to overcome terrible odds fighting his way to the boss of the stage. Clash of the Titans from 2010 isn't a movie I would recommend wholeheartedly. It has subpar acting, the effects don't hold up very well, and the 3D conversion in the cinema was abysmal. When the movie was announced, it did have a very good trailer that made me excited to watch the movie. Ramin Djawadi managed to carry over this excitement in his score for the movie. My favorite track would be Scorpiox, in which Perseus has to battle giant scorpions. It has a certain rhythm to it that makes it perfect for this list. Now we've come to a more playful variety of the sadistic dance. With Luigis Mansion. Released in 2001 on the GameCube, this game has Luigi exploring a creepy mansion in search of his brother, all the while capturing the vibrant variety of ghosts that lurk the grounds and halls of the mansion. While exploring the mansion, Luigi is accompanied by a particular song that he sometimes will hum or whistle along with based on the amount of health he has. It's a fun melody by Kazumi Totaka that made a well-deserved return in the sequel Luigi's Mansion 2, Dark Moon, for the Nintendo 3DS. There is not much to say about this particular song from the Don Bluth movie Anastasia. It's a literal evil waltz conjured by the villain Rasputin, voiced by Christopher Lloyd, to kill off Anastasia. The scene goes from the dreamscape in Anastasia's mind to the real danger around her, which David Newman captures very well in his music. For our next song, we will be exploring the terrors of the open sea with the Kraken from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. The song starts with the theme of the Kraken itself. This part still has some dense quality to it. This melody also functions as a reminder for the viewer that the Kraken is still out there at sea, similar to the Jaws theme.
The Kraken. They say the stench of its breath is... Imagine. The last thing you know on God's green earth is the roar of the Kraken and the reeking odor of 1,000 rotting corpses. If you believe such things.
Then we come to the part in the song where the carnage starts. The song goes into a higher tempo that almost sounds like we are on a train to hell. Then, at the end of the song, we come back to the actual theme of the Kraken to be reminded how evil this creature actually is. The song, Davy Jones, also has a waltz-like mood to it. However, this song sounds more tragic than evil, so I consider this more of an honorable mention. Thunderbirds was a British sci-fi show with marionettes that ran from 1964 to 1966. The show was about an anonymous international rescue organization who helped people in peril at the moment local authorities were unable to help them. In the second episode of the series, The Pit of Peril, a big walking military vehicle called the Sidewinder gets stuck in a big pit and the crew needs to be saved. Before the Sidewinder gets stuck in the pit, we are introduced to the machine with a very menacing theme. Obviously, this song is too slow to dance to, but luckily, years later in 2003, a faster song was written in the same vein. This song was called The Forest of Death, which was written by Yoko Kanno for the anime series Wolf's Rain. And it has the same feeling of industrial destruction as the song from the Thunderbirds. Similar to the Kraken theme from Deadman's Chest, the song The Hunter from Bloodborne consists out of two parts. This song accompanies the fight with Father Gascoigne, an old hunter who has gone insane. The fight is split into two parts, the fight with the man, and the fight after the old hunter transforms into a hideous beast. First part is still dance-like. When we arrive at the second part, the music becomes more feral and more aggressive, and just like with the Kraken theme, it gets a booming train-like rhythm. For me, the final two songs on this list are two perfect examples of using a dance-like motif for madness and power, or seduction. Let's first start with Madness and Power by taking a listen to Kefka's theme from Final Fantasy VI. If you listen to the original SNES version of the theme, it might seem like it's just a silly tune to introduce a wacky, unpredictable character. Which is so brilliant about this theme, it toys with your expectations. Listening to an arrangement of the music of Final Fantasy VI from the album Final Symphony, you will notice how manipulative this song can be, and how Kefka's insanity and power grows. First, the theme starts innocently with a slight giggle played by the violins. But as we further progress, more elements are added to the song and it becomes more and more aggressive. At the end of the arrangement, Kefka's theme has become so demented it just blares against the hopeful version of Terra's theme, in the final confrontation with the power-hungry clown. And so, for our last song, we come to Seduction. It's often used when the villain tries to seduce one of the heroes of the story. Two examples I can think of the top of my head would be Legend and Van Helsing. The problem is that often the music is just a regular waltz. We are looking for something more sinister. And to find that, I'd like to look at the soundtrack for a book, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire by Joel McNeely. In short, in this story, the villain Scissor tries to lure Luke Skywalker to his palace by seducing Princess Leia. Part of Scissor's own theme is actually already very dance-like. But the track The Seduction of Princess Leia is where the sadistic dance really comes to fruition. This is also the song that inspired this list. It starts slow and then it goes faster and faster and leaves as subtle as it began. Well, this was a list of my favorite sadistic dances. If you think, hey, I know another example he didn't mention, then tell me in a comment down below. Subscribe if you want to stay tuned for the next episode. See you guys next time, and have a happy Halloween!